Body indicators and microexpressions. This is Scaring with Sammy. Body language is so incredibly important. There's so much that we communicate and express, and so much of that is very subtle and on a subconscious level. Things that people will pick up. They, little threat analyzers inside people's heads will pick up on this because they want to know what's actually going on as opposed to what's being presented. And the body is a far more truthful conduit for this type of expression. And this is what we want to use. This is what we need to use as haunters because we are trying to make people scared. We have to convince them of reality. We're creating this fantasy, these nightmares, and they have to feel real. There has to be that real connection. So whatever we're doing with our bodies and in the faces, we have to be able to express that, even if it's something that's different than what we are kind of overtly expressing. In fact, if it's different than what we're overtly expressing, that will be stronger because then they know we're lying to them. There's something wrong here. There's a dichotomy between the two, and that little red flag is going to go up and say, okay, I see that they're saying this, but their body is telling me something very different. Body indicators. Body indicator is exactly that. The body is expressing something kind of almost on its own. And the idea is that if you believe something, you can believe something and really think it and kind of picture it in your head, and your body is going to react. So if I'm kind of picturing my head and I'm thinking at any moment I could just reach out there and pounce and rip somebody's face off, my body is starting to react. My body, because I believe it in my body, and my body is starting to react and prepare for it. You can't really see my feet, but I'm in a launch stance right now because I'm believing this. And there are muscles that are tensing, my weight is shifting, and people that see this, no matter what else I'm doing, they're going to recognize, okay, there's something going on there. Now, if my whole body is, I'm going to run at you, I'm going to attack you, that's a macro expression. I'm expressing that, then of course the body indicator is going to get swallowed up and subsumed inside that. But if I'm doing something different, the master will see you now. No, he's, and what I'm doing is whatever other characterization, everything that the character might be doing, the body is saying, I'm about to go after you. I'm about to rip your face off. And this is, like I said, it triggers the threat response. That red flag's going up. Okay, they're saying this is what the body's doing, there's something going on there. Let's get this fight or flight or other responses, get them started, the adrenaline running. So body indicators can do that. They can really get into people's heads. And it's not just an intention that you can use as a body indicator. Say base emotions. So for example, fear. If I'm, I can sort of believe I can have this fear. There's something here that's going to kill me or hurt me or something. That I'm scared of something, and I believe it in my body. My body, once again, muscles tensing, shifting. They're little indicators that will tell this. So here I am in the same position as before. The master will see you now. No, the master is very pleased to see you, but my body is saying there's something to be scared of, and that's what they're going to get. Once again, if I'm doing the whole, I'm scared of everything, or I'm showing you that I'm scared, then the body indicator, that subtle hint of truth that's coming through, that's going to get subsumed. But if I'm doing one thing in my body, I have the belief in my body that something else is going to happen or could be happening, I'm creating that dichotomy that's going to get into people's heads. Now, this is the same with microexpressions. Microexpressions are those emotions that produce an involuntary response. These are the strong ones like love and disgust and anger and fear and happiness, sadness, contempt, surprise, confusion. And when you respond to something, when you respond to some sort of stimuli and you have one of these expressions, they'll flicker across your face. Now, they'll flicker across for maybe 1/10 of a second. Now that's really too small for haunting. Now, if you're acting and there's a camera in your face, it'll pick that up. It'll pick up that little, that one-sided curl for contempt or whatever it is. But in a haunt situation, the guests are walking through, it might be dark, they're not going to be able to see that. So what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to first recognize these basic microexpressions and then be able to extend them. So for example, your character should know, or you should know as an actor, how your character would sort of express disgust, anger, fear, whichever ones that you're going to be using. You don't need to go through all of them. But if you have just some of the basics that that you're going to use. So now, you can use them, and I kind of just did. I just threw a little bit of disgust in there. So here I am, and I'm speaking to you, but then I did this little thing. I let it wash over my face, and I extended it for a little bit of time so that it was actually registerable. So while I'm talking to you, you know that there's something else going on, and that's actually more truthful than what I might be presenting. So that is how you use it, a microexpression. It's the same thing as body indicators, though. So for example, if my microexpression is anger, I'm angry at something, and instead of just letting it wash over because I'm doing something else, if my whole demeanor is, oh, I'm angry at something, oh, that's gonna piss me off, that's gonna make me upset, then of course it's gonna get subsumed. But if it's just a quick moment of something that really was angering, the expression washes over, they see it, then they know that there's something else going on there. So that's body indicators and microexpressions. I'm gonna take a little bit extra time because I want to talk quickly about masks. Now, if you're wearing a mask, you can't really make these facial expressions, as easily. It's because you have to act through the mask, and it's a little bit more difficult. So you can't do the facial expressions because they're not going to see it. But at the same time, if you're wearing a mask, masks are the whole face is kind of connected and together. So even the slightest neck movements are going to be somewhat exaggerated. So that is what you're going to use. So if you want to create the micro expressions, so instead of being the wrinkle of the nose for disgust or whatever it is, you want to figure out how you can how that expression can come through when you don't actually have the ability to move the face. That's going to be in the neck and in the posture. So for example, disgust with a mask might be here. And once again, micro expressions. We're not talking. It's just a quick moment of. A quick insight into what the character is actually thinking, feeling, and reacting, responding to. So take a mask, whatever mask it is, even a neutral mask, and just put it on, stand in front of a mirror, and just try, okay, what is going to be my reaction? Anger, fear, disgust, contempt, and these little tiny motions, and you're going to be able to express them through the mask and around the mask and with the mask. So body language is incredibly important. You can do it in a mask, you can do it without, in makeup, and it's going to give the guest the impression that there's more going on than just what you are presenting. And that is going to bring them into reality, and that is going to raise those little red flags for them to be scared. Body indicators, micro expressions, scaring with Sammy.